You're on.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to City Council meeting. Today is Monday, June 3rd, 2024. It's approximately 1 p.m. I'm Mayor Enriquez. Before we start, I want to mention that we have the ASL, American Sign Language interpreter, available for every regular council meeting, and she'll be at the front for anyone who requires interpretation services. We will start with a moment of silence for the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces as they protect our interests, and also the courageous men and women of the Las Cruces Police Department and Las Cruces Fire Department as they keep our city safe 24/7. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have no presentations or certifications, proclamations today, so we'll start out first with Jobs of the Week. Sarah Rainey.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. Again, my name is Sarah Rainey. I am the one-stop coordinator for the Southwest region of the Workforce Connection. And let me see. All right, for Jobs of the Week for this first week of June 2024, we have a gas measurement technician for the city of Las Cruces beginning at $24.78 an hour. That posting closes actually today at 5. We also have a city surveyor for the city of Las Cruces that begins at $85,000. It is a continuous posting at this time. We have a test support analyst 1 for Tritium Corporation out at White Sands Missile Range. That is that posting closes in August. We have 2 positions actually for Lamar, a sales account executive and a construction billboard installer. Those 2 postings are open until June 20th. We have an associate electronics technician for LineQuest that begins at $49,000 a year, and the posting closes on June 17th. We have a college network developer for NMSU, and this is at the DACC location for $46,000 a year, and the posting closes on the 7th. So as always, we have changed this up a little bit. We have all of our social media that you guys can follow us on. That is jobs throughout our region. In the 7 counties that I serve personally, and then my team as well. For Las Cruces, we are open from 8 to 6 p.m. still for that extra hour for everyone to come in for their job career support. So you guys come in and get that extra help. And then you can always come and check us out on Employee NM that has all of our calendars for each one of our counties, as well as any events that are going on, any registrations or anything like that. We also have the app, so you guys are welcome to download that. If you need any help with anything, please come into our office. And that is all. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Next, we have Pets of the Week, Amy DeFelix. Let me see her. Is that Amy? You're up.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amy DeFelix. I am one of the rescue coordinators for the Animal Services Center of the Mesilla Valley. And each week I present a dog and a cat of the week. So we'll go ahead and start with the cat. Her name is Aloy. Her number is 74894. And she says, I am very shy and prefer to spend my time in cubbies and hidey holes, but I immediately give a gentle purr as soon as I'm given my favorite head and neck scritches. I need a very special home who has endless love and a lot of time and patience to keep me safe and let me come out of my shell in my own time. I'd love to let my forever family see my true personality. And then we also have our dog of the week. This week, she is Havana. Her number is 65090, and she says, I am a fun-loving and playful dog who is ready for her forever family. I grew up here at the ASCMV, so my forever family should be ready and willing to train me and teach me how to be a great family dog. I'm eager to learn and just want to live life to the fullest. I'd love to go to a home full of playtime, toys, and lots of love. And then events going on all of June. Actually, we're going to have a Bring Love Home adoption special. All of our adoptions are going to be free starting June 1st until the end of June, June 30th. We will also have an offsite adoption at Tractor Supply this Saturday, June 8th. We will be there from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So we definitely encourage you all to stop by, meet some of the lovely dogs we'll have available for adoption at Tractor Supply. They'll be ready to meet you. And then we have all of our website links. Our main website is ascmv.org. And then we have social media, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We'll post some lovely adoptable animals as well as the current events going on. And then YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts is where we upload episodes to our podcast, Tales from the Paw Side. And that is all I have.
Okay, thank you, Amy. Next on the agenda, we have the conflict of interest. Does any member of City Council, City Manager, or any member of the city staff have any known conflict of interest with any item on the agenda? See none? Next, we'll have public participation. We'll allow 3 minutes. Anyone to speak except with those pending litigation or items on the non-consent. I'll start with the first row on my left. Come on up, sir. Just state your name and speak clearly into the microphone. Thank you.
Members of City Council, good afternoon. My name is Michael Hayes. I live in Las Cruces. My topics are the city's communications with its citizens and its compliance with the law. If my experience are typical, city officials are derelict in both respects. If they are not typical, my question is why not? For 4.5 years, I repeat, for 4.5 years, I have sought a retraction of police allegations against me, which the LCPD found to be false. I say again, found to be false, yet has ignored its policy on honesty and refused to retract them. 5 months ago, I met with the police chief, outlined the issues, urged corrective action, and offered to discuss anti-Semitism if he was interested. He was not. I have not heard from him. Why does the police chief not enforce LCPD policy on honesty, not choose to do the right thing, and not want to address possible bias-based policing? A month ago, I emailed the city manager to request his corrective action. I provided him with my 3 recent blogs on the issues, the flawed investigation of the allegations, the likely destruction of evidence, and the likely anti-Semitic motive underlying the allegations. I have had no response from the city manager. Why not? A few weeks ago, I learned that the latest city attorney advised you and other officials not to communicate with me because of my litigation against the city clerk and the city for repeated violations of IPRA requirements. When I made an IPRA request for a record of that advice, the city clerk, likely advised by the acting city attorney, denied it because of attorney-client privilege. For a 3rd time, she violated IPRA requirements to identify author, audience, and the date, and to indicate enough content to justify the exemption. Why does City Council concur with the city clerk's repeated IPRA violations? Why does it comply with the city attorney's advice, which forbids communication between my counselor and me, treats me like a second-class citizen, and encourages city officials to discriminate against me? The silence of city officials is arrogant and disrespectful to citizens if my experiences are typical, and to me as a targeted individual if not. Indeed, they have targeted me because they have the power and approval to be silent and unresponsive to a Jew. All 3 experiences show city officials contemptuous of their responsibilities, uncommitted to good government, and unable to serve all citizens with civility and without prejudice. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Anyone else on that first row? Second row on my left, yes.
I think I just messed up. The screen went blank. So I'm Jennifer Cry. Good afternoon, City Council, Mayor, City Manager. I wanted to come and say thank you for the support for the police force. In my quick Google search, there were 18 new positions approved last year, or whenever, it's 23, 24, and 13 new positions approved for the future year, which I think is 24, 25. So when people accuse or demand for support of the police, it's clear that you do that. You do that, and I appreciate it. Saturday, I went out to the East Mesa Recreation Complex, and wow, that place is beautiful. I mean, it's a work in progress, but it's fabulous. So I hope your inboxes are full of thank yous from the pickleball crowd. Beautiful courts. So I hope they haven't inundated you with too much email. And as a tennis player, I just want to say, we appreciate the increased help, security at Lions, and we continue to enjoy playing there. So thank you.
Anyone else on that second row? Yes.
Tim Jenkins here. I know Yvonne Flores isn't here today, but I would like to thank her for the comments and her concerns at last City Council for the police department being understaffed and underpaid and overworked. We are fighting for the same things, and we appreciate the support that you guys are fighting for. Number two, I would like to bring to your attention, I was contacted Thursday afternoon by the owner of the Pecan Grill, who is out of state. He's very concerned that his business is being overrun and overtaken by the homeless, and asked me to please go out there and see what I could determine and find out to support him. Arriving on site, I found that there was an encampment directly behind the Pecan Grill, and walking all the way along Loman, behind Bubba's, and behind the vacant lot, and all the way around the arroyo, found a very large Airbnb encampment of homeless. Contacted LCPD. They came out there and met with me, and they said, you got to find out who owns the lot. You got to figure out what's going on before we can do anything. We did that. The next day, they came out there and went down and made contact. There were 7 individuals down there in that encampment. 3 of them had warrants out for their arrests, and 4 of them were issued no trespassing. The next day, I went back on site. There was 3 more people down there. I contacted LCPD again. They came out there. 2 of the individuals fled up the highway, which I believe were 2 of the ones from the day before that had been cited, and they ran off. They issued another no trespassing to another one. And then I walked from behind the Pecan Grill all the way down to that encampment. There were 7 shopping carts, and what I counted was 147 needles just in that little area. Thank you to Community of Hope. They went out there this morning and cleaned everything up. 58 bags of trash and over 3 pickup loads of garbage. The police on Saturday, when they met me out there, apologized and said that they sorry it took so long, but they had 27 calls holding. They've been very phenomenal in every way and supported, and we ask that we pass the shopping cart ordinance and support them in every way that they can so we can move forward here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Same row.
Good afternoon, City Council. My name is Jennifer Dahlgren, and I work for the New Mexico Commission for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, and I'm so thrilled to come to this meeting today, and there is an interpreter available. That is amazing. I didn't put in a request in advance when I came. I really just showed up, and now that I know I can show up to any meeting any day, and you provide an interpreter, having that opportunity for the deaf community, the deaf members, to really be involved with their City Council is amazing, so thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Third row.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. My name is V. Quevedo. I'm a resident of District 1 in Las Cruces. I'm going to share something written 15 years ago by Rafif Ziada during the Cast-led massacre when U.S.-backed Israel killed over 1,400 Palestinians. Today, my body was a TV'd massacre. Today, my body was a TV'd massacre made to fit into sound bites and word limits, filled enough with statistics to counter measured response. I perfected my English and I learned my UN resolutions, but still he asked me, Ms. Ziada, don't you think everything would be fine if you just stopped teaching your children to hate? Pause. I look inside of me for strength to be patient, and patience is not at the tip of my tongue as the bombs drop over Gaza. Pause, smile. We teach life, sir. Rafif, remember to smile, pause. We teach life, sir. We Palestinians teach life after they have occupied the last sky. We teach life after they have built their settlements and their apartheid walls. But today my body was a TV'd massacre made to fit into sound bites and word limits. And just give us a story, a human story. You see, this isn't political. We just want to tell people about you and your people, so give us a human story. Don't mention the word apartheid or occupation. This is not political. You have to help me as a journalist to help you tell your story, which is not a political story. Today my body was a TV'd massacre. How about you give us a story about a woman from Gaza who needs medication? Or how about you? Do you have enough bone-broken limbs to cover the sun? Hand me over your dead and give me their names in 1,200 word limits. And these are not two equal sides, occupier and occupied, and 100 dead, 200 dead, and 1,000 dead. And between that war crime and massacre, I vent out words and smile, not exotic, smile, not terrorist. And I recount 100 dead, 1,000 dead. Is anyone there? Will anyone listen? I wish I could wail over their bodies and run barefoot in every refugee camp and hold every child, cover their ears so they wouldn't have to hear the sound of bombing for the rest of their life, the way I do. And let me just tell you, there's nothing any of your UN resolutions have ever done about this. And no soundbite I come up with, no matter how good my English gets, no soundbite will fix this. No soundbite will bring them back to life. We teach life, sir. We Palestinians wake up every morning to teach the rest of the world life, sir. In 2008, it was 1,400 dead. Today, it's 40,000 dead.
Next. Yes. Yeah, you can come up after him and speak.
My name is William Roberts. I've lived here for over 35 years, and I applaud the effort that you have in a resolution to control the fireworks issues this July 4th. However...
Sir, can you speak a little bit more into the...
Okay. However...
I'm sorry. We're going to have that one on the agenda. You can speak to it then.
Yes, I know. This is an issue that goes along with it. That you think that you can enforce it.
No, sir. You can speak to it when it comes up.
When it comes up?
Yes.
Well, this is an issue outside of that.
But it deals with it. You can talk about it then.
This not concerning the fireworks, sir. This concerns law enforcement.
Okay, well then, if it has nothing to do with the fireworks, because we do
sir,
have that
I
on the
applaud
agenda.
that, but
Okay. Go ahead.
With enforcement, in my neighborhood, we're having a very difficult time with drugs, animal control, And I see that the city council has really, somewhere down the line, restrained our law enforcement and underfunded them, because I see insufficient number of officers available and the gunfire that goes on. And along with that, there's fireworks, Mr. Mayor, that happen year-round, and they're masking firearm usage. I would hope that the council would consider strengthening our police and our codes enforcement to where they are not neutered from doing their job, and getting the people protected in the manner that they should be. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, in the third row, did you have a comment?
No, until the resolution comes up on the agenda.
Okay. That was the fourth row. Anybody in the fourth row? Yeah, come on up.
Good afternoon. My comments now are not about the resolution that you guys are going to be discussing later. My name is Dolores Bernal. I am a resident of District 3. I'm here to let you know that this week, areas of the West and the Southwest, including our region, will be 10 degrees hotter than normal. We'll be in a heat dome for several days, if not weeks. This happened last year as well. We had record temperatures from July all the way to September. If you're younger than 65 or 70, these high temperatures won't really impact any of us who have air-conditioned homes and cars. But if you are elderly, the heat can impact you even by doing a quick run to the supermarket, or if you go outside to pick weeds from your yard. We have a lot of retirees here in Las Cruces, so a lot of them will take this risk during the heat dome. The heat can also complicate the health of people suffering from chronic illnesses, and it impacts children at the playground. So yeah, even though we have air conditioning here and in our homes and in our cars, but what would happen if we have a major power outage in the middle of a heat wave? Can the city of Las Cruces really help 50,000 or 100,000 people with the cooling centers? The point of all this is that it's time to be proactive with the environment to lessen the impacts that scientists are warning us about. You, as city officials, have the opportunity to influence Las Cruces Public Works, Parks and Recreation, and other departments to review current practices and how they can be improved to protect our natural resources, wildlife, trees, and shrubs. In one of your working meetings, you can focus on the environment and what the city can do to lessen its carbon footprint. There are other issues that you need to look at as well, including historic preservation, mental health, etc. But crime, homelessness, and all these ecological issues are all connected. I assure you that if you tackle the environment and historic preservation issues, you may see a reduction in crime and domestic violence. Again, all issues are connected, and you have some power here to restore balance. Thank you.
Anyone else on the fourth row? Okay, on the fifth row. Oh, you're coming up? Okay.
Hello, my name is Grace Martinez, and I am a resident off of Anita Drive. Right now, it is with a potential build. My main concern here is a recent meeting on March 26th highlighted also the need for better notification process. Some neighbors received notices by certified mail, while others, like myself, were still waiting on ours. Okay, the sign at the corner of Teresa Madrid was unclear and caused a lot of confusion among residents. This lack of communication and clarity, it's unacceptable, especially when it comes to projects that impact the community's safety and well-being. So I urge the city to develop a more effective strategy for providing notices that includes all residents and use clear and concise language. The city must also consider the impact of development on our community's wildlife and take necessary measures to mitigate any harm. So I request that the city council prioritize transparency, communication, and accountability in their decision-making process. That way we could work together and build a better future for all the Las Cruces residents. My main objective to the signs there is that not everybody receives the notice. I think that's very unfair. Like I said, I'm a resident. I pass by the area each day. The wording is that tiny. You have to pull over. You have to put your own safety at risk so you could get down and read the notices. Not everybody has Facebook, so they could see the notices online. Not everybody is signed up and knows about the LasCruces.org or any of the websites that Las Cruces offers the community. So I'm pleading for a better source of communication from the city to the residents. Thank you.
We're now on row 5. Anybody on row 5? Row 6, 7,
Mayor, Council, Juan Garcia. When I heard the Telsure funds were to be used, these were funds that were established by Resolution 08-112, and I quote, for the purpose of funding health-related services for the benefit of city residents, end of quote. I thought the advocacy and hard work by Yoli Diaz in pleading for your support was finally coming to fruition. These would be funds to help citizens that can't afford insurance or can't afford the medical bills they have incurred as a result of their catastrophic illness. These folks are about 95% Hispanic, with about 90% of those being women. Folks that, if not for Yoli and others, would have been put out to pasture, quote. I also read in the New Mexico Searchlight where one of our counselors described herself as, and in part, a brown woman who is a progressive beacon in southern New Mexico, end of quote. Given the large number of catastrophic patients are Hispanic women, I figured it was a done deal that we would have a strong advocate in this area. And not quite. Telsure funds were depleted by $28.3 million, or about 2/3 of the current amount. There was money for the Amador Hotel for the homeless, Mesilla Valley Community of Hope, and other programs favored by some of the council. This is all good. It's good for the community. But money for the Amador Hotel to take care of the homeless due to their often bad choices, but no money for those suffering because of their illness and the high burden of trying to survive financially. Once again, like we saw when poor Hispanic women came and begged for help, when their small businesses were being plundered, they were ignored. Poor, ill Hispanic women and those suffering from crime perhaps don't bring anything to our politicians that they can use. But there's still a tiny ray of hope, and hopefully you will do something about this and help those in desperate need. Thank you.
anyone else on the 7th?
Good afternoon. My name is Jim Hurst. I'd like to start off by reminding you about the New Mexico Human Rights Act, 1969, and as amended, this law makes it illegal to discriminate against someone on the basis of their race, color, religion, national origin, sex, including pregnancy, age, 40 and older, ancestry, disability, serious medical condition, sexual orientation, gender ID, identification, or spousal affiliation. Let me introduce you to Raphael Cruz. Raphael Cruz was the speaker last year at the Republican Party of Ana County at their Republican dinner in August of last year. Raphael Cruz is a very popular right-wing speaker. Raphael Cruz said gay rights will bring about communism. Raphael Cruz said the Supreme Court's decision to allow gay marriage was like allowing two men to marry a horse. Raphael Cruz criticized Houston for having a gay mayor. Raphael Cruz says evolution is a communist lie. He says gay marriage is an attempt to destroy the family. He praised Kim Davis, the county clerk in Kentucky, who refused to grant same-sex marriage licenses. I've only got 3 minutes, so I'll stop there. In short, Raphael Cruz is an anti-intellectual, McCarthyistic bigot and a homophobe. Again, he was the keynote speaker for the Republican dinner last year, $75 a plate. Thank you very much.
I think that was row 8. Come on up.
Mayor, Council, I'm Susan Greenwald-Cabello, the Executive Director of Downtown Las Cruces Partnership in the Las Cruces Arts and Cultural District. I want to start off with some good news. Total Golf, which was on Wyatt, is relocating to our district on the very edge by Picacho. They're setting a pretty big facility. We're really excited about that. And on Friday, the Chamber helped us welcome the grand opening of Collective Co., where our personal office space is, a co-working space downtown. It's going to fill a lot of needs for people. As far as office space, as we know, space downtown is at a premium. Really excited about both of those businesses coming downtown. Also like to remind you that our speed dating event, which we have changed the name to the B2B Quick Connect event, so people maybe don't think we're trying to help them with their love life anymore, is coming on June the 14th. It's going to be a chance for entrepreneurs at all stages to come and meet with people from our economic development ecosystem, as well as private and public entities that can help them with their business. It's going to be from 10 to 2 on the 14th at the Electronic Caregiver on the 7th floor conference room. It is ADA accessible. They have an elevator, so there's no stair climbing required. I'm really excited about this event. It's new for us. I think what makes it unique is that there are no speeches or lectures. It's all one-to-one conversation and interaction. So business entrepreneurs will be paired at tables with our experts and be able to answer their questions, be able to talk to them about their businesses personally. I think it's going to be a really great event. We have tickets on sale for $10. However, if $10 is a barrier for anyone, I urge them to email me personally at director@dlcp.org before the 7th, and we will scholarship them. So please share this with everyone. I'd like to share it with our community. It's our first time doing it. I think it's going to be great. Coffee and lunch provided. Please share this with your constituents and have everyone who needs it to join us. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else on the 8th row? 9th? No? Okay, moving to my right on the 2nd row. Anybody on the 2nd row? Come on up.
Good afternoon, Mr. City Manager and Mayor and City Council. My name is Dolores Lucero, and I'm here to give the city staff a big kudos, and this is to Public Works, because I presented in front of you in July of last year, January of this year, and unfortunately, I seem to plan this wrong because my city councilor has missed me every time I was here for this same subject. But I was able to meet with city staff March 22nd, and there were 6 city staffers, and we discussed my situation that doesn't only affect District 6, but affects this whole city, and that's getting the Loman from Telshore to Sonoma Ranch completed from a 20-year project. After meeting with staff, we're working on getting it onto the ICIP because I know that's how we get funded, and we can go to the state legislature for additional funding. I am told by Tony Trevino out of Public Works that the report, the traffic study that started last October, will be done sometime in the next couple of weeks, and then I can make an IPRA request so that I can review it. I am slow at getting this started last year, but it's critical that we expand that road. Just on my way in today, I was a little late because from Telshore to Roadrunner, it was back-to-back traffic. There were no accidents, and an ambulance was stuck behind that traffic trying to get to Mountain View Hospital. That roadway needs to be completed, and I understand that the traffic study was the first step. And this study coming out in the middle of June will help us start to put this onto your agenda and your budgeting and all that has to happen with that. I ask you for your assistance. I ask you for your support. I ask you to alleviate the frustration that is on that roadway because, as I stated before, by the time we get through getting it onto the ICIP, then we have to fund it, and we're talking 1.5 to 2 years before that roadway can be finished, and that's from today. So 2026 is a long time to wait for some reprieve on that roadway. So I ask you, the city manager, to help push us along, and the city council to approve the funding that goes with that, because it's in dire need in our neighborhood. And it doesn't only affect District 6, but every district has people that come up that road. Every district has students that leave Centennial High School and get on that road. And now there's a new public pickleball and everything else right behind my house, and guess what? That's just gonna increase the traffic even more. So kudos to the staff, and I really need your assistance. Thank you.
Anyone else on that row? Third row.
Hello, everybody. My name is Catherine Lucas. Maybe I should bark, but I will try to talk in a human language. The dog park on Rinconada, which is visited by a lot of dogs. There's lots of activity. It's fun and nice. We have been without water for 14 days. So everybody is lugging cans of water, buckets. So this week will be a very hot week. When will we have the water back? Woof.
Thank you. Anyone else on that same row? The next row. Row 5. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. I'm Peter Goodman. A couple of quick things. I want to thank you for the pickleball courts, even though my current condition of one knee won't let me play on them yet. Two other things. One is, as I was about to leave, a gentleman from utilities came by and was explaining something, and my wife was really happy with the fact that he was so forthcoming and so helpful. Yeah, not just being there, but explaining. And I won't embarrass him by naming him, but I'm gonna send a note to the utilities folks. And I would just urge everybody else in the audience to do the same thing on occasion when some public servant does serve you. Send a little quick email to somebody's department head. And the other thing I was gonna mention, for the benefit of people who have talked about the crime and mental health problem and people's competency, and Chief Story, that there is a pilot program. Now, I'm not sure how many people know it, but the judicial system, Supreme Court, and others are putting together or have put together a pilot program for basically reaching out and taking people who are charged with misdemeanors, particularly the ones charged over and over, and trying to get them into some kind of treatment situation as soon as possible and do things as maybe they should be done. And that's going to be a pilot program in Doña Ana County and one other county. And we're going to talk about it with the people who put it together on my radio show Wednesday. The show's 8 to 10, and that'll be 8:30 to 9:30. So anybody interested in that subject might be interested in listening to that or picking it up later on our archives. Thank you.
Yeah, anyone else on the same row? That's a fifth row. Sixth row. Seventh.
Thank you, City Councilors and Mayor. I'm Sarah Smith. We are all continuing to witness the substance abuse crisis here in Las Cruces. I've spoken numerous times about the drug usage that my children have witnessed in Las Cruces, especially in the downtown area. A recent incident involved two vagrants smoking crack or meth in a pipe right outside my kids' class in the middle of the afternoon in the downtown mall. At the May 13th work session, it was reported that Doña Ana County is seeing an increase in opioid overdoses compared to the rest of the state. You and the County Commission are discussing how to use opioid settlement funds, and I am hoping you will consider implementing medication-assisted treatment in our jails. As you know, medication-assisted treatment, also known as MAT, is an effective strategy for helping people recover from drug addiction. For opioid users, MAT can help to normalize brain chemistry, relieve the physiological cravings, and normalize body functions for recovery. Last year, you approved a program for Las Cruces firefighters to refer people to medication-assisted treatment. However, our jails are still not using the MAT program, and the state is not planning to roll this out until at least 2026. Will you please be proactive and work towards getting the MAT program in our jails now, instead of waiting for the state to handle it? Incarceration is an ideal time in which to use the MAT program because it provides the structure needed for people to get clean and stay clean during their time behind bars. Some other states have found this to be very effective. For instance, Rhode Island was the first state to use MAT statewide in their prisons. Along with giving medications, Rhode Island has recovery coaches who work with people while they are in jail. After incarceration, that care and medication continues to support individuals in staying off drugs. Rhode Island has shown that this program works. In the first year after it was implemented, there was a 12% drop statewide in overdose deaths and a 61% drop in post-incarceration overdose deaths. Implementing MAT in our jails now could prevent overdoses and deaths here in Doña Ana County. This could also reduce crime in the city as more people would be rehabilitated and able to recover from the addictions that are driving them to steal from and harm others. Instead of waiting for the state to handle this, will you please prioritize the use of medication-assisted treatment in our jails here in Doña Ana County? Thank you.
Anyone else on that same row? Anyone on the right side would like to come up and speak? Okay, seeing none. That concludes our public participation. Thank you. Next on the agenda is read a closed meeting statement that took place on May 20, 2024. The Las Cruces City Council met in closed session at 11 a.m. on May 20th, 2024. The following members were in attendance: Mayor Eric Enriquez, Councilor Cassie McClure, Councilor Becky Graham, Councilor Joanna Bencomo, Mayor Pro Tem Bencomo, Councilor Yvonne Flores, staff, Ikani Tamopayao, the city manager, Sonia Delgado, Assistant City Manager, Brad Douglas, the city attorney, Christine Rivera, city clerk, and Barbara Bencomo, the CAO. Outside counsel, Haley Grant and Rob Cabello. Meeting adjourned at 11:32 a.m. Statement for the record. The Las Cruces City Council met in closed session and only discussed those limited items as stated in the posted notice. The purpose of the closed meeting is to discuss litigation regarding Michael Hayes versus City of Las Cruces, case number D307-CV-2023-2167, which is closed pursuant to New Mexico State Statute 1978, Section 10-15-1H7. To discuss pending litigation, Philip Sanfilippo versus City of Las Cruces, cause number D307-CV-2021-2305, which is closed pursuant to New Mexico State Statute 1978, Section 10-15-1H7.
That's yours.
Next, we have the acceptance of the agenda. We need item 7.4 needs to be pulled for discussion and amendment.
So moved, Corin, with the amendment of 7.4 pulled.
Second, Graham. This is on the motion to accept the agenda as presented with the removal of item point 7.4 for discussion. Councilor McClure?
Yes.
Councilor Matisse is absent. Councilor Graham?
Yes.
Councilor Cran?
Yes.
Councilor Flores is absent. Councilor Bencomo is absent. And Mayor?
Yes. So we'll start with item 7.4, Resolution 24-126, a resolution.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council, and staff. My name is Vanessa Perez, and I'm here.
Hold on one second.
Oh, excuse me.
Move to approve, Graham.
Second, Corin.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry. My name is Vanessa Perez, and I am here with the Budget Office, bringing forth a resolution to accept various grants. You will notice that your packet states that there is also a proposal to accept an internal budget adjustment. This adjustment is no longer needed. I am amending this resolution to strike Exhibit B and Attachment F as they pertain to that adjustment. The New Mexico Department of Public Safety has granted funds for both our police and fire departments to equip and outfit their corresponding honor guards. The police department was awarded $8,427, and the fire department was granted $5,382. The Office of National Drug Control Policy is amending an existing grant for the Southwest Border High-Intensity Drug Trafficking Areas, also known as HIDA. There are two adjustments that in total are increasing their total budget by a little bit over $8,000. Before you are your council options, and I stand for questions.
Any questions? Councilor Cran?
I have a question. Is this your first time presenting?
Mayor, Councilor Curran, no, this is my second time.
Your second time?
Yes.
Anyway, you rocked it. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you so much.
for being here, Vanessa. That's
Thank
all.
you.
It's more of a comment than a question, as we are prone to.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Anyone else? Okay, we good?
Thank you.
We need a motion to amend.
So we have to amend it based on what Vanessa said?
Yes, to remove Exhibit B and Attachment F.
I move to remove Exhibit B and Attachment F, the fund summary and the budget adjustment summary, please.
Second, Graham. This is on the motion to amend Resolution 24-126 to remove Exhibit B and Attachment F. Councilor McClure?
Yes.
Councilor Matisse is absent. Councilor Graham?
Yes.
Councilor Cran?
Yes.
Councilor Flores and Councilor Bencomo are absent, and Mayor.
Yes.
And then we need the final vote. We need the final, yeah. So this is on the motion to approve Resolution 24-126 as amended. Counselor McClure?
Yes.
Counselor Matisse is absent. Counselor Graham?
Yes.
Counselor Cran?
Yes.
Counselor Flores and Counselor Bencomo are both absent, and Mayor.
Yes. Next, we have item 8.1, resolution number 24-127, a resolution approving a memorandum of agreement between the City of Las Cruces and the New Mexico Department of Transportation for the Las Cruces 00-360 Loman Interchange Project, and to ratify the city manager's signature on the agreement.
Move to approve.
Second, Graham.
Okay, and we have Mr. Bingham.
Yes, Mayor and City Council, I'm Steve Bingham, Parks and Recreation Director. We are proposing a resolution MOA with New Mexico State DOT. It's we already have one in place for the care of the interchange at the Loman exit, and this is just amending it due to the new landscaping that's going in. It's going to add trees and other plants. It's going to improve erosion control and reduce maintenance and improve safety. And cost improvements are covered by New Mexico DOT, and the utilities increase will be minimal and will be balanced by a decrease in the cost of maintenance by staff. We're proposing this to maintain good relationships with New Mexico DOT and support future joint ventures. Council's options are: 1, to vote yes to approve, vote no to deny, vote to amend, or vote to table.
Thank you, Stephen. Any questions? Okay.
This is on the motion to approve Resolution 24-127. Counselor McClure?
Yes.
Counselor Matisse is absent. Counselor Graham?
Yes.
Counselor Cran?
Yes.
Counselor Flores and Counselor Bencomo are absent, and Mayor.
Yes. Next is item 8.2, resolution number 24-128, a resolution to accept the 2024 legislative session reauthorized grant agreement 24-14074 from the New Mexico Department of Transportation.
So good afternoon, Mayor, Council. For the record, I'm Leanne Demush.
Oh, hold on.
Move to approve, Graham.
Oh, sorry.
Second, Court.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I want to introduce our grant writer, actually, Crystal Silva. She started with the finance about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. She was our administrative assistant. She was just rocking and rolling. I asked her, I said, do you think you can write grants? And she said, I'll try anything, Leanne. And she has been rocking and rolling since. And so I just wanted to introduce her. This is her first presentation. So I know all of y'all will be kind to her. So thank you so much.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council, staff, and public. My name is Crystal Silva with the Grants Administration Program. Today, I am bringing forth a resolution to accept a reauthorized grant agreement with the New Mexico Department of Transportation. The City of Las Cruces was granted the following reauthorization for the East Mesa Roads and Drainage from the New Mexico Department of Transportation during the 2024 legislative session. This reauthorization will extend the time of expenditure to June 30th, 2026. The reauthorized funds will be used for the Cortez Drive construction project. The New Mexico Department of Transportation requires an approved resolution by City Council before an agreement can become fully executed. Before you are your council options, and I stand for questions.
Any questions?
Just You rocked it. Good job. Well done.
Thank you. My heart's beating.
Okay. So no other questions? All right. Welcome, Crystal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
This is on the motion to approve Resolution 24-128. Counselor McClure?
Yes.
Counselor Matisse is absent. Counselor Graham?
Yes.
Counselor Cran?
Yes.
Counselor Flores and Counselor Bencomo are absent, and Mayor.
Yes. Next is 8.3, Resolution Number 24-129, a resolution to declare extreme drought conditions within Las Cruces municipal limits and to restrict the use of fireworks for 30 days from adoption.
Move to approve, Corin.
Second, Graham.
Chief Smith.
Mayor, members of City Council, Fire Chief Jason Smith, I'm going to be introducing your Fire Marshal, Battalion Chief Michael Landavazo. And if I am correct, he is going to be celebrating his first year as Battalion Chief and Fire Marshal, I believe, tomorrow. So be tough on him.
Mayor, Council, Battalion Chief Michael Landavazo. I'm presenting today a resolution to issue a proclamation that would impose firework restrictions within the city of Las Cruces. New Mexico state statute provides us the authority to municipalities to declare drought and enact firework restrictions. The city of Las Cruces adopted ordinance already provides language for the proclamation. The proclamation will be in effect for 30 days. We are proposing that it begins on June 7th and lasts for 30 days, which take us to July 6th, I believe. And the proclamation may be modified or rescinded if conditions improve. Right now, according to city ordinance, these are the permissible fireworks that are allowed in the city of Las Cruces. Cone fountains, crackling devices, cylindrical fountains, flitter sparklers, ground spinners, illuminating torches, wheels. Here's a map from the U.S. Drought Monitor. This map is updated every Thursday. This is the most recent one. And as you can see, Doña Ana County is within extreme to severe drought. This is a precipitation outlook from NOAA. And as you can see, the monthly and seasonally, Doña Ana County is, the outlook is below average for precipitation. The city ordinance also lays out that we need to contact the state forester for input on firework restrictions. I contacted James Anzalone with the New Mexico Forestry Division, and he indeed confirmed that Doña Ana County was in severe and extreme drought, although they were not imposing firework restrictions anywhere else in the state at this moment. Our proposed restrictions, we would limit permissible fireworks to areas within the municipal boundaries that are paved, barren, or areas that have a readily accessible source of water. The proclamation shall be issued no less than 20 days prior to July 4th, which we're in that window. State law currently prohibits local municipalities from prohibiting all fireworks. So if these restrictions are approved by the city council, our current restrictions would be the most restrictive that the state would allow under drought conditions. And there are your council options, and I stand for questions.
Do you have any questions? You said.
You don't have to.
Being that this one does require public participation, so are there any members of the public that would like to speak on this issue? Yes, sir. Come on up. Good.
Do you want to talk about fireworks?
It's about this issue, fireworks. Don't run, it's a long fuse. So I do have a question for the fire marshal. Did he say June 7th or June 20th? Isn't it from June 20th?
It would be in effect for 30 days. It would start June 7th and then conclude on July 6th.
Okay, the selling period is from June 20th to July 6th. Okay,
Correct.
okay, that's the, okay, gotcha. I was trying.
Okay,
Oh, go ahead,
I have a
Council.
question. Why aren't other counties doing this throughout the state? Just out of curiosity.
I couldn't get a really good answer from the forester about that. I did notice that Doñana is in probably the most severe drought in the state, or at least close to the most severe, but I didn't get a clear answer.
Okay, Christine? Yes, come on up, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, City Council. A couple of questions for you all. So how
Yeah.
do you propose to implement this?
Would you state your name?
Tony Chavez, sorry. How do you propose to implement this, number one? And number two, are there going to be any fines or anything if some people violate this issue? And number three, what's the county doing so that we're on sync together to ensure that, you know, things are going to happen within the city?
Council, Mayor, Council. I will answer the question about the fines. Right now, any violation is a petty misdemeanor with a $500 fine or 90 days imprisonment or both. Right now, we have 7 employees to patrol the city on 4th of July, and it's a big undertaking, but that's what we have right now in place.
All right, thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council, Fire Chief Jason Smith. For the second part of the gentleman's question about coordinating with Doñana County, Doñana County, the portions that are not incorporated, have already adopted the restrictive list of fireworks. So there are some surrounding municipalities such as Mesilla and other areas within the county that sell all fireworks that are legal within New Mexico. We do not have a good mechanism or way of stopping those fireworks that are illegal in the city of Las Cruces from entering our city and being used during the holiday season. Our fire investigators and prevention team do their best to patrol through the days before and during the 4th of July holiday and after, but it is a large undertaking for our members, several of whom are not law enforcement certified. But I do believe that we do our best in educating the public and getting out there to try to reduce the amount of illegal firework use within the city. The big option, the big thing that we need to focus on is what happens at the state level. It is really a state law that needs to change to protect our communities from wildfire. It's not the local jurisdiction under current state law that has anything with enough teeth in it to really stop or reduce our community risk.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Thank you, Fire Marshal. We good? Okay, Christine.
This is on the motion to approve Resolution 24-129. Counselor McClure?
Yes.
Counselor Matisse is absent. Counselor Graham?
Yes.
Counselor Cran?
Yes.
Counselor Flores and Counselor Bencomo are absent, and Mayor.
Yes. Next is item 8.4, resolution number 24-130, a resolution reversing the Planning and Zoning Commission approval decision regarding a proposed non-administrative replat known as Villa Mora Dam replat number 1 located on 2040, 2045, 2060, and 2065 East Madrid Avenue, zoned R1A, single-family medium density.
Move to approve. That's what we're doing in this, right? Yes, move to approve, please.
Second Graham.
And David Weir, go ahead.
Mayor and City Council.
David, really quick, I need to swear you in.
I'm sorry, everyone speaking on this one.
No worries.
Has to be sworn in.
David, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under penalty of law?
I do.
Thank you.
Again, Mayor and City Councilor David Weir, Community Development Department, and I'm here to present the appeal of the approval of a replat by the Planning and Zoning Commission at their March meeting. Just to give you some background of the property that was within the subdivision, it's located west of Trevize Drive, and it's intersected by East Madrid. I'll spare you all the addresses. The property itself encompasses a little over 56 acres. It's currently vacant and undeveloped, and in the past it has been a drainage facility for the city. The current zoning is R1A, which is single-family density, and just if it were to be developed, there's probably approximately 42 acres that could go into single-family development. At its maximum density, that'd be 339 lots, and at the density of the country club neighborhood, it's about 250 lots. So just to get you some idea of what could be developed under the current zoning. It currently is accessed off two major roads. Madrid is a major collector, and Trevize is a minor arterial roadway. So roads that are built to handle a lot of traffic and cross traffic through the community. Here's a vicinity map to show. All of this area is generally called out as the country club area, and then also I believe there's Loma Heights is the neighborhood down in this area. But as you can see, I-25 goes through this way. There's Trevize Drive, and then here's Madrid as it goes back towards Main Street. This is an aerial photograph, so you can see the homes that are in the area and the surrounding uses. As you can see, the property's vacant. Currently, Madrid ends at Trevize. There's no access under or over I-25 to Tell Shore Drive. This is a slide of the Apodaca blueprint. In 2018, City Council approved a conceptual master plan, and included within that planning process was the Villamora Dam. It was identified as Planning Area B. Just to give you a little breakdown of this map, all the green areas were identified as a use called Restoration Park. So it identified approximately 40 acres to go into a natural setting or natural park for use of the property. The red was identified as the Villamora Plaza area, and that was an area identified for office and small retail to support the park, access to the trails, and then provide neighborhood services to the surrounding neighborhoods. They identified approximately 3 acres for that type of use, and then actually called out that it would be like an enhanced trailhead for the Trevize Trail, and then also there was some connectivity to the former country club as that was to be developed. And it also encouraged that no development be over a story tall. The beige or peachy area to the south of that was also called out for future development. It was identified as uses similar to the Villamora Plaza, and as if there was a need in the community, it could be developed in that area. And we also looked at it for, it could be considered for potential housing. It was identified as approximately 2 acres in size. These are just aerials, or excuse me, these are photographs from the street level that show the existing conditions of the park. As you can see, it's vacant, and there's a mix of native and other vegetation that is sprung up on the property. Again, just kind of give you a feel of what the properties look like. The plat itself was, the term is non-administrative replat. Previously, the property was platted. It combined several parcels into one just large tract. And so when we went through this replatting, because it increased 2 additional lots, it also increased, and it also actually provided the right-of-way for Madrid Drive. That's something that can no longer be done administratively. It'd have to go to the Planning and Zoning Commission for their approval. And then our Chapter 37 in the Municipal Code states that type of subdivision approval is under the purview of the Planning and Zoning Commission. They'd have final approval. If anybody felt there was some adverse impacts, they could appeal it to City Council, and that's what happened today. Just to go over the layout of the subdivision, there's a plat here on a later slide. It pretty much mirrored that conceptual layout of the Apodaca blueprint. One of the lots is 3 acres in size, one of the lots 2. And then there's a tract off of Fairbanks Drive or Fairbanks Road that's approximately just less than an acre, but it is created as a separate lot. Then there are a number of tracts created. They are for the intended open space. There are some drainage for trees, and there's also some utility facilities in there. I believe there's a couple of wellheads. And then, as I noted, some dedication of right-of-way for Treves and for Madrid Drive. This is the actual subdivision plat itself that shows the lots. So this is the 3-acre tract. This is the approximate acre tract. And then on the next slide, you'll see the 2-acre tract, 2-acre lot, excuse me. These are dedications for Treves. This area is the dedication for Madrid, and this is the dedication for Fairbanks. This is one of the utility facility locations, and this is another one of the utility facilities, so the track is being created for that. Just another point of interest in regards to this, there is a zone change that was reviewed by the Planning and Zoning Commission last Tuesday, and they recommended approval of it. They recommended a 3C, which is our community commercial for lots 1 and 2, and then they recommended for the tracts for open space that they all be OSR, which is open space recreation, so it's limited to recreational uses of those properties. As required with all subdivisions, we're required to provide public notice. That we do that by 3 methods. One, we post it in a local newspaper. In this case, it's the Sun News, approximately 15 days prior to Planning and Zoning Commission hearing. We post one of the large yellow signs that provides detail on where the meeting is held, and also some summary of what the actual proposal is. The intent of those signs isn't really to explain the case. It's really to, 1, make people aware there is a development proposal for that property, and 2, there's a phone number, so you should contact the Community Development Department to get, if you want more specific details, and then also it provides the time and date and location of the meeting. The third way that we do public notice, and again, this is all in Chapter 37, is that we send out we send out letters to all property owners within 500 feet. The first 100 feet is certified letters, and that's where they have to come down to the post office and sign for them. If they don't do that, the letters are returned to the Community Development Department after a specific period of time. From this public notice, we did receive requests for information. A lot of that was traffic safety, public safety in the area. Just general comments about a desire to limit future development, especially in this location. General locations about the subdivision process, zoning of the property, next steps, and then also what potential environmental impacts could it have on the property, whether it be the drainage for the area or just the impacts to the vegetation that's on the property. After application is for subdivision is submitted to the city, it's reviewed by all departments who provide services for that area. So it would be it'd be the Community Development Department, the planning activity, it would be utilities, it'd be the fire department. Notice goes out to the police department. There's also input sought from Parks and Recreation and Quality of Life, and also more specific within the Community Development Department is impacts to drainage and traffic within the area. Once that review is done, it's placed on a DRC, which is a Development Review Committee meeting. The way the process for subdivision approvals takes place is after the staff review, it goes to DRC before it would go to Planning and Zoning Commission, and they make a recommendation to the Planning and Zoning Commission. So this slide demonstrates that meeting took place in February of this year. The DRC did recommend approval of the replat. They had conditions on their approval. 1, that any outstanding comments be addressed, and oftentimes that may be a misspelled word or a north arrow's missing on the subdivision plat or some bearing. And that also, that it be clear that before any development of this property could take place, that all the requirements of the flood control for the area, basically that they update the flood standing for the property, and those are identified as the letter of map revision, that would be update to current conditions. And in this particular case, it could be 2 steps. There could be approval of a conditional letter of map revision, basically stating that what's being proposed will not increase any chance of flooding, and then you do the permanent LOMAR, you can get that approved by FEMA. The Planning and Zoning Commission did hear this at their March meeting. They did vote to approve with a vote of 3-1, and there are 2 seats vacant. As they do with all of their recommendations or their approval, they based it on findings of fact. And in this particular case, it was the staff report. It was the fact that the plat met the technical requirements of the subdivision code, and that all the lots met the lot size and access from the zoning code, and that the subdivision also met the intent of the Apodaca blueprint. As also stated, staff always looks at against all policy plans, not only the Apodaca blueprint, but also Elevate Las Cruces, and then just any other requirements that apply from a code standpoint, that those conditions are met. And then also the review by the DRC, they took that into account and took their recommendation. After the approval, there was an appeal to its approval, and in the appellant, they cited several sections of municipal code. I will note that the approval of subdivisions falls under Chapter 37. These chapters deal with amusement uses, impact fees, and drainage. And so in the case of approval, they're not I guess the authoritative section of the city's municipal code. They also stated violation of some state and federal statutes. I would just note that there were environmental and drainage studies that have been done by the city, and the finding by third parties was that there were no violations of any of these particular statutes at the state and federal level. There was also a basis for the appeal that the public notice was lacking, and then also the application of some of these other conservation environmental standards were lacking on the part of the city. As you have in all of your, if you vote yes, that will approve the resolution, and then that will deny the subdivision, and so it would remain the way it is. If you vote no, that would uphold the Planning and Zoning Commission, and the plat would be approved. And then if you vote to amend it, you can place additional conditions on it. If you voted yes in an outright denial, I don't think there's any reason to condition it. It would be if you were to uphold it. And I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And then you could also table it for more information. Just one other point before, the appellants are also in the audience if you have questions for them. You may have a question, and I'll try to answer it beforehand. Why wasn't the zone change and the subdivision taken at the same time? There was a need. There are funds the city has received, I believe, from the state to do improvements to Madrid Drive, and that deadline is coming upon us. And so from a timing standpoint, we needed to take the subdivision first. As I said, the zoning change has been taken to Planning and Zoning Commission. They did recommend approval, and it will be on your agenda at the end of July, 1st of August. So with that, I'd be happy to stand for questions and answer any that you have, or if there's additional information you'd like clarification for.
All right, thank you, David. Before we get to that, we'll go ahead and have the appellants come forward. I believe we have Dolores Bernal, Gracie Martinez, and Dana Parsons. If you all want to come up, and I'll give you each 3 minutes to speak, and you have to be sworn in as well. So come on up to the podium. That's correct.
Good afternoon again. My name is Dolores M. Bernal.
I can swear you all in at the same time since you're all up there, if you want to raise your right hand. Okay.
My name is Dana Parsons.
My name is Grace Martinez.
Okay, great. Do you all swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth or nothing but the truth under penalty of law?
Yes.
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 Perfect. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I wish I had gotten a little more time since Mr. Weir got, 10 minutes, and he got a lot of time to argue his side. So City Council, Mayor, and too bad Ms. Boncomo is not here. I'm the leader organizer of Save the Road Runner. Our website is savetheroadrunner.org. Savetheroadrunner.org. We have a lot of our members watching right now. Key members of our group were the ones who filed the appeal, and they're here present with me. The appeal cites municipal code violations, state law violations, and federal law violations as the basis for reversing the Planning and Zoning's decision to approve the replat. These violations were outlined in our appeal packet, and neither of the city employees, including Mr. Weir, got in touch with me or the city attorney to let me know that there was anything wrong or inaccurate with the statements we made in the appeal. We're asking that you vote today to reverse this decision approving the replat so you can adhere to the laws mentioned in the packet and do further investigation. Those laws were established long before you got elected, and it's your duty to uphold them, not to just listen to city employees. In the packet, we outline amendments to the PNC's approval, including one asking that asking city employees to put things in writing for us to make sure that the areas that have been designated as open green spaces will remain untouched and unmanicured. Even just building trails could scare off sensitive wildlife. And we ask that you seek to hire a city employee whose main mission will be to be vigilant on issues related to development and its impact on wildlife. This person could also be the one guiding you on how to improve our traffic issues and how to make Las Cruces more walkable. It's very obvious that you need someone with expertise in urban planning. It's a win-win for all of us if you follow this route. Now, if Villa Mora Dam and Apodaca Blueprint receive even $1 federal, and I'd like this to be confirmed, if the city clerk please take my question to find out if any federal dollars are going to this project, that would be great, because that automatically requires to do an environmental impact study. Now, Mr. Weir said that the studies were done. Well, I haven't seen them. The public hasn't seen them. You haven't seen them. Were the studies included in your packets? I don't think so. So I think there's due diligence that needs to be done, more investigation that needs to be done. So I will really encourage you to vote no, get more information on this, get all the details, see the impact studies that they're claiming they have done, and then make your decision based on that. This is not to stop development. This is just to make sure that it's done right and protects the wildlife. Thank you.
Hi. My name is Dana Parsons. I'm here with SaveTheRoadRunner.org. We are asking that you vote to reverse the approval of the Villa Mora Dam replat. I'm concerned with how recent, current, and planned developments are affecting our local and migratory wildlife. These developments are not taking the proper precautions to protect our local habitats that are essential to the survival of many species, such as the greater roadrunner. These projects are a mirror image of the city's past developments that led to the decline of the burrowing owl, which were once prevalent within the city and now have not had reported sightings in 3 years. Las Cruces being in the Chihuahuan Desert and close to the border, there are species that exist here that can't be seen in the rest of the United States. And protecting these species doesn't mean slowing our economic progress. Ecotourism is the fastest growing and one of the largest drivers of economic growth in the world. People come from very far to visit our region of the country, hoping to see something unique or something they've never seen before. I've come across people from states as far away as Alaska and countries as far away as New Zealand. Our visitors sometimes ask, where are the roadrunners? Where are the burrowing owls? If the city continues to develop with its current methods, other species will meet the same fate as the burrowing owl, and once gone, they will likely remain gone forever. It is clear that the city is rushing to develop these areas with disregard to the habitats of our local and migratory wildlife, local ordinances such as Section 34-125, and the better interest of the community. And this disregard will lead to a breakdown of the people's trust in the city of Las Cruces and irreparable harm to native wildlife populations. I'm again asking that the city votes to reverse the approval of the Villa Mora Dam replat and change how current and future development is undertaken for the better interest of the people of Las Cruces and our native wildlife. Thank you.
Good afternoon once again. City Council members, my name is Grace Martinez, and I'm a concerned citizen and also a resident of the area where the Villa Mora project would be affected. I'm also a proud member of Save the Roadrunner. Our website is the savetheroadrunner.org. I'm also an appellant on the Villa Mora project. I stand, I stand before you as a voice for the community, pleading for improved communication and transparency regarding future developments, Villa Mora being one. The Villa Mora project threatens to erode privacy, compromise our safety. Numerous residents have objected to this project, and I am here to represent those who cannot be present due to illness, mobility issues, and lack of awareness. How do I know this? Is because we have taken the time to walk through the neighborhood, and there has been plenty of residents who have said, we cannot go, we cannot voice our concerns because we cannot get out of our home due to our illness. The recent discovery of 147 needles in a small area is a stark reminder of the urgent need for effective solutions to address transient-related issues. If we do not act soon, we risk driving out long-time residents and making it impossible for families to enjoy a peaceful day out. The funds for this area of the Villa Mora project could go towards helping the community of Las Cruces become safer. I'm sure you all agree. Excuse me. The city could also allocate the funds to an area of Tal Shore to Del Rey, as this street is becoming more congested each day, especially with the school that has now been added to the Vista College area. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that, but it gets very congested. I've seen 3 accidents just this year alone. I implore to you, please consider the long-term consequences of your decisions and prioritize the needs of our community. Let us work together and find alternate solutions that benefit all of Las Cruces residents, rather than sacrificing our beloved nature areas, placing our wildlife at risk. Please, I beg each of you to reconsider the replat decision and put the needs of our community first. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else from the public that would like to speak on this issue? Yes, please come forward. Yeah.
Good afternoon. My name is Erica Vasquez, and I grew up in this neighborhood. And I want to tell you about my experience. As a kid, I spent a lot of time in that Plateau desert, riding bikes, playing with friends out in the desert. So we had a good time. I don't currently reside in that district or the adjacent district, but my parents do. And so does my sister and my niece. And just protect the area. Families want to go out there and walk around. I know I take my kid out to the desert, and yeah, we're like, look at the roadrunner, look at the liebras, look at the lizards, look at the osha plants or the mesquite. Can you smell it after it rains? Give families an opportunity to enjoy the desert in town, you know, not have to go to the outskirts of town to enjoy the desert, or have to worry about your kids going far away from your home to go enjoy the desert. You guys can make it into a recreational area like they showed on the map, similar to the one behind the dam or desert trails. Beautiful areas for families to enjoy the outdoors in the summer. You know, you can go out there at 8 o'clock at night and just enjoy the summer, enjoy the plants, enjoy the wildlife, enjoy the sunsets. But as a kid, I had a great time hanging out in that desert. And I grew up in the time where Travis was still dirt. And little by little gets chiseled away, and now all we have is this little plat. And save it for the future generations so that future generations can appreciate what Las Cruces was. And now we have developed it to what it will be. You know, being outside for children is so important and vital to their development. And you hear about all the studies. And then after all this COVID stuff, where kids were jammed into technology and everything, no, we got to promote, get out into your environment, get out into the desert, enjoy the area that you live in, not just the cement buildings technology. There's so much to do here, and we should promote that. And yeah, I agree with one of the appellants. You have so many people coming here from outside the area just to enjoy the climate because we have warm weather. And it's not like super hot like Phoenix or Tucson, but you can still go out and enjoy it. You can mountain bike, you can run, hike, and like I said, just enjoy the natural elements of what our city has to offer. And this is in town, it's not on the outskirts. And it's a beautiful plot. And the neighborhood is beautiful. I grew up in that neighborhood. I went to Loma Heights. I mean, if you develop it into a recreational park space, can you envision some of the teachers from Loma Heights going out there to have a live educational session with their kids? Let's look for roadrunners, the yucca plants. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Oh, hold on, sir. Okay, go ahead. Come on.
Sorry about that. Second time. Good afternoon, Council. Good afternoon, Council. My name is Jorge Aguirre, and I'm a longtime resident of the Old Country Club neighborhood that we're talking about. And I'm here because I support building high-density housing all over the city, including in my neighborhood. My whole life, I was raised with ecology and the environment in mind. I'm an environmentalist, as it were. So I empathize with the calls to save the roadrunner. I love the state bird. After all, wildlife is disappearing in the US, not just here. However, I am concerned that the bird is being used as an excuse to slow down development in the parts of town that would benefit the most people, with the least harm to our environment. It is almost impossible to divorce development from harm to the environment, but we can select where and how we develop. A lot of societal problems come from the lack of housing. We have a lot of problems coming from the lack of housing and inequality, and we need to solve those problems first. We need housing for humans more than we need wildlife in the middle of the city. The biggest threats to wildlife in general are habitat loss and climate change, both caused by human activities like agriculture and commercial development, among others that can make it difficult for wildlife to find food, water, shelter, and places to raise their young. Saving the roadrunner is not going to come from saving a tiny plot of land in the middle of the city. In fact, the opposite is true. Cities are friendlier to the environment than rural areas, despite their increased activity, in part because of their density. Their density allows the benefits of development to reach the most people while costing the less environmental impact. So instead of spreading sprawl into the desert in Metro Verde and these other areas, paving ancestral land to put yet another cookie-cutter single-family home development, I'd say let's focus on infill development in the city. All of this to say that if we really care about saving wildlife in the Chihuahuan desert, we should advocate for sustainable development that prioritizes high-density housing infill in the city, multi-use development, and not acres and acres and acres and acres and acres of sprawling single-family home development in the middle of the desert, in the outskirts of town. That really kills a lot more birds that we will save in this plot. So please, vote no on the appeal. Save our desert, just one plot of land, not just one plot of land. Please vote no on the appeal. Thank you.
Hold up, ma'am. Go ahead, sir. Come on up.
Mayor Enriquez and council. My name is Harry Murray. I've lived in the Villamora area close to Travis for over 46 years, so probably longer than most of you have been around. I don't support the latest rezoning of the Villamora property for several reasons. First of all, it's going to bring more traffic into our neighborhood, more people, and as with the rest of the Las Cruces, it's going to bring us more crime. I had no problem with the rezoning into family housing, but last week they're going to rezone 5 acres for commercial high density and the rest for parks. Why wasn't all this proposed 2 months ago? What caused the change? Why is it a 2-step process? Sounds like the Planning and Zoning Commission is doing smoke and mirrors with the public. The planning for the Villamora has been going on for over 6 years, according to the Apodaca Blueprint. More recreational areas are a good thing, but one of the land areas over there is being held for reserve. I think it's about 2 acres. What's that for? What's being planned for the future? Is that high-density housing for along Anita? The real question is, what's being planned for this area in the future, and who's going to benefit from it? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Council, any questions? Councilor McClure. No, I'm sorry. You've already had your opportunity to speak. Thank you. Ma'am, you've had your moment. Councilor McClure.
I think, thank you, Mayor. I've also kind of had questions about transparency. I think people have known that at this point. Would you like me to share David Cedillo's information, or can you?
Mayor and Councilor McClure, it's up to you. I'd be happy to go through that.
I am very curious as to why we couldn't get more information out to the public specifically about these environmental studies. So I did follow up on that. So 2009, biological study by Suter Miller and Associates concluded no effects to federally endangered, threatened, or candidate species nor their habitat related to the Madrid extension. As is customary, it recommends initial disturbance of grounds occur outside nesting season March to August, or that we survey for new nests prior to disturbance. Cultural resource study also via SMA clearance obtained through NMHPD. This was repeated 2022, and there is also a current one going through March through June 2004 with Terracon. Why can't we share this kind of information with the public?
Mayor and Councilor McClure, there's no problem with sharing that information. It's available for them. That just needed to request that. As you noted, these cases were reviewed at public hearings. The Planning and Zoning Commission also requires that you affirm that you're telling accurately. City staff at that time said we had those studies and that there was not any environmental issues at that time. And there was also the fact that when the actual development takes place, there's an additional review at that time, and we have to make sure that we meet all these environmental standards. So it was just more the fact that it's built into the system and the city's not going to knowingly violate any of these standards when they do a project. And in this particular case, the city is the property owner, so that was kind of the thought process behind it.
Thank you. So these are the things that I talk about, City Manager, too, in terms of communication, how we communicate the story that we want to tell so that people are more informed. Things like this, I feel like this is something that should have been very clearly defined, because if it was a concern, that we don't have to dig for it. Mm-hmm. So that was one of my things. When is the last time we've done any sort of push for explaining the Apodaca Blueprint? And I'm not sure who could answer that for me, because it has been 6 years, and I understand that, but refreshers are also super helpful.
Mayor and Councilor McClure, prior to this particular project, it was probably with the platting and zoning of the country club property itself. That took place probably 18 months ago. And so it would have been at that time, but there's been no other outreach or explanation of the plan.
Thank you. And that I also find problematic. So I'm just going to leave that out there in terms of people who might be doing communication might be well advised that these are the ways we can head off miscommunication and concern and worry for our citizens. I really, really am concerned about that. Thank you.
Councilor Coran.
Thank you. And I just want to clarify a few things. About 90% of this will remain designated open space as a result of this replat,
Mayor
correct?
and Councilor Coran, that's correct. Approximately 43 acres will be designated for open space. Recreational is the only use of it. There are the 2 tracks, the 3-acre lot and the 2-acre lot that will be in commercial. Through the development of the Apodaca blueprint, one of the thoughts was the city's either sale of lease of that property could go back into programming the park and providing revenues to maintain it.
And as it's zoned now, we could sell all of this and just put 200 and some houses in there?
Correct.
Okay. And then what would the park look like if we upheld the P&Z's commission?
Mayor and Councilor Coran, the Parks and Recreation Department has another grant, I think it's a legislative pass-through to master plan that property. The Apodaca blueprint envisioned it being a nature-type park with trail.
Like Desert Hills?
Yes, the benches and the trails. And I would just note that any time that a master plan for a new park is done by Parks and Recreation, they also go through a public engagement where they invite surrounding neighborhoods to come in and have their input in the development of those parks.
Okay, thank you. That provides some clarity. So that hasn't been planned yet, but it's sort of legislatively, the conversations have been to support that kind of park.
Mayor and Councilor Cran, I believe staff is doing the initial data research and kind of surveys of the property. Then the next step would actually be that outreach and development of the plan.
Okay. Thank you. That's all. Those are all the questions I have.
Anyone else? We good? Okay, again, just to clarify, a vote no would uphold the Planning and Zoning Commission, and a vote yes would reverse the Planning and Zoning Commission approval. Go ahead.
This is on the motion to approve Resolution 24-130. Councilor McClure?
No.
Councilor Matisse is absent. Councilor Graham?
No.
Councilor Cran?
No.
Councilor Flores and Councilor Bencomo are absent, and Mayor?
No.
Okay, motion fails.
Okay, next on the agenda is the board appointments. And on the board appointments, I need a motion and a second required on the following. Ma'am? I said I need a motion and a second for vote required. Angel Velasquez, the City Art Board, a new appointment.
Move to approve.
Second, Graham.
This is on the motion to appoint Angel Velasquez to the City Art Board. Councilor McClure?
Yes.
Councilor Matisse is absent. Councilor Graham?
Yes.
Councilor Cran?
Yes.
Councilor Flores and Councilor Bencomo are absent. Mayor?
Yes. Next, we have Mary Mulvihill, Affordable Housing Committee, new appointment.
Move to approve, Corin.
Second, Graham.
This is on the motion to appoint Mary Mulvihill to the Affordable Housing Committee. Councilor McClure?
Yes.
Councilor Matisse is absent. Councilor Graham?
Yes.
Councilor Cran?
Yes.
Councilor Flores and Councilor Bencomo are absent, and Mayor?
Yes. Next is Matthew Smith, Airport Advisory Board, new appointment.
Move to approve. Graham.
Second, Corin.
This is on the motion to appoint Matthew Smith to the Airport Advisory Board. Counselor McClure?
Yes.
Counselor Matisse is absent. Counselor Graham?
Yes.
Counselor Coran?
Yes.
Counselor Flores and Counselor Bencomo are absent, and Mayor.
Yes.
Okay.
Next is a notice of proposed ordinances. Council Bill number 24-028, ordinance number 3070, and ordinance amending ordinance 2698 for the dedication of a municipal hold harmless gross receipts tax.
Bring it forward.
We good? Okay. Next, we have the city council members' board reports and comments. I'll start with Councilor McClure.
Thank you, Mayor. I was also looking forward to today's agenda, partially for this. I also live in that neighborhood, and I am excited that there's development. I've been watching that closely through Parks and Recreation Advisory Board for the last lots of years. So the idea that we can't be transparent and yet still make progress that benefits us, it doesn't have to be that way. We can talk about this in different ways, and I think I will be helping to push that along to say that we can tell that story to show why we're doing the things we're doing. It is always interesting to me too, because people will talk about that they're born and raised here. I am raising my children here, and I am very concerned about what that future looks like, and it will not look good if they have no place to live. So balancing those ideas with balancing the ability to have recreation and open spaces, which is part of this plan, is something I look forward to, and I hope that my children do too. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Grant. Nothing. Councilor Grant.
Thank you. I have a couple notes, so bear with me, please. I talked with some constituents, and I've heard some folks getting sick. I also know that avian flu is still around. I just want to remind folks that COVID is still like 4 times as deadly as the flu. So just as a note, I think there is much evidence to suggest there's a resurgence of COVID coming, and we also live in a community surrounded by agriculture, and so I appreciate the work that's being done to sort of look into where avian flu can cross over into our daily lives. So I think, just as a note, a couple constituents asked me to remind folks that COVID is still around and we still are experiencing it. So bear with each other as we figure that out and try not to infect each other. More or less, that's just a general hope. I do want to give a couple of notes on things that I've experienced recently. I've toured La Clínica de Familia. I think a few other folks from the city staff and council have done this to hear a lot about what they're doing in behavioral health and their ACT program, among other things. I do want to point out that they're doing extraordinary work, and I hope that we can partner with them as we think dynamically about all of the things sort of facing our community as they come from behavioral health, mental health, substance use disorder. And so I think they will make a great partner, and I really appreciated learning. I had no idea all the things that they were doing to support people in our community, and so I just want to lift that up in our conversations. I also missed a meeting a few weeks ago. I was in DC at the EPA Local Government Advisory Council meeting, where we learned a lot about what kinds of things the EPA is looking for in terms of policies and policy work, as well as funding. And I shared all of those that had relevance to the city back to the departments that it related to. Links and resources, and we also have been invited to be part of a group considering how lithium batteries are moved through the life cycle of their use, and so I will keep providing updates as I find out more about that. Some potential opportunities for us to pilot things here in Las Cruces. I also want to give an update on the Metropolitan Planning Organization, which several of us are participants on. They are transitioning to a new space. We're working on a new MOU and JPA. And this is a lot of work. I really want to give a strong shout out to Andrew Ray, who works really hard to keep the MPO moving and has been working on this transition really diligently, and Barbara Bencomo, who has been supporting this process really administratively, keeping up, following up on the very complicated and detailed administrivia, I would call it, although it doesn't feel like trivia to the folks who are working on it, to make that happen and be successful. So thank you, Andrew and Barbara, for that ongoing work. And then the last part, I do have a follow-up thanks to our Parks and Rec department in particular related to Rincon Hills Park. I really appreciate the follow-up that you all have done in helping make it more usable, addressing the slides. So thank you. I know it means a lot to folks who go there and take their kids there and who might frequent the slides and the pickleball court and the basketball court and all of that. So thank you. I really wanted to appreciate you for following up on that as you have been. So those are all the things that I have in my notes. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor Kern. Just a couple of things I wanted to mention. On May 26th, opened up the Mayor's Jazz Festival, and got a history lesson, got educated on that. I didn't know that our former mayor, Reuben Smith, played in the jazz band. So that's how it originated, and we just want to keep that tradition going. And that jazz festival opens up the music in the park that'll be every Sunday from June 2nd to August 25th at Young Park. So it was well attended, so please attend some of that entertainment that's available. Also serving on the Mesilla Valley Economic Development Board, Mavita. Tomorrow we have a luncheon where myself and County Commissioner Hernandez will be the guest speakers to talk about economic development here in our community. And just a reminder that tomorrow is primary election date to vote. If you haven't voted already, please vote. And now I'll turn that over to City Manager for his comments.
Thank you, Mayor Enriquez, City Council, County Tamaulipas, City Manager. Just a few comments and then we'll let you on your way. Earlier today, there was a public comment by Ms. Catherine Lucas requesting that the repair of water fountain at Dog Park on Rinconada be looked at and assessed. And just an update from staff, we appreciate them. Staff and plumbers were already planning to be on site today, this afternoon, to begin the assessment and repair. Just wanted to give you an update on that. For the library, Quality of Life Director Carol Bray, Assistant Director Rebecca Slaughter, and Deputy Director of Library Sarah Booth are preparing for the arrival of American Library Association President Emily Debrinsk and the bus tour. Emily will arrive in Las Cruces on Friday, June 14th, and will hold a meet and greet lunch at the Brannigan Library from noon to 1, followed by a tour and interviews of community leaders and library stakeholders. Emily will bring a filmmaker with her who is filming the tour and will be interviewing members of our community regarding their views of libraries in Las Cruces. Emily will then go to El Paso on June 15th, where she will visit the UTEP Library and have dinner with members of the Border Regional Library Association. Just another announcement on library. Summer reading started this past Saturday on June 1st. I am jealous because the kickoff had a magician, Jamie O'Hara, and I wasn't there. Cooling stations, just a heads up, we anticipate 3-digit temperatures coming on Wednesday, this upcoming Wednesday and Thursday. And we appreciate our ACM, Sonia, working with departments to make sure that all our facilities are open for cooling stations. We have Frank O'Brien Papin, Community Center, Henry Benavides, Community Center, Munson Center, Sage Cafe, Mershite Recreation Center, Thomas Brannigan Memorial Library, and City Hall that will be available for cooling. And we'll have waters as well available for those who want to get out of the hot sun and heat. Visit Las Cruces, just a heads up, the Spanish version of the visitor guide is available. They can be accessed and requested in person at the offices, online. Staff is ready to email this out. They can be downloaded on the website. They can be mailed out. This is free to the public, so that can happen at any time. And 2 more announcements. Lift Up Las Cruces. We mentioned that they were going to win and dominate this award ceremony that happened in Texas. And Lift Up Las Cruces, a local community initiative, has been honored with a 3rd place award for Best Neighborhood Program of the Year by Neighborhood USA. The award ceremony took place in Lubbock, Texas, where city staff Isaac Holguin, Katrina Godinez, and Grace Tez proudly represented City Las Cruces. This award is recognition of the city's commitment to fostering strong, vibrant neighborhoods and the success of collaborative efforts in improving neighborhood conditions. So congratulations to all the departments who contributed to making Lift Up Las Cruces a success. And that is it. Thank you.
Thank you, City Manager. We good? All right, looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Graham.
Seconded, Corin.
This is on the motion to adjourn the city council meeting. Councilor Clerk?
Yes.
Councilor Matisse is absent. Councilor Graham?
Yes.
Councilor Cran?
Yes.
Councilor Flores and Councilor Bencomo are absent, and Mayor?
Yes.